And welcome, everyone. Another edition of Tornado Men's Basketball. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Live from the Bosch, Brevard College taking on the Methodist University Monarchs. Brevard looking to get back to that 500 mark. A few weeks back, Brevard was riding a 5-game winning streak. Then that 5-game winning streak turned into a 5-game losing streak. And now the Tornadoes seemingly back on track with consecutive conference victories, including a 90-83 victory over preseason number 1 North Carolina Wesleyan yesterday afternoon on this exact same floor. A game that saw Quincy Carter leading the charge with 22, 7, and 5 en route to the Tornadoes' second USA South victory. For Methodist, it's been a bit of a struggle of things. Methodist 3-10, 1-2 in the conference, riding a 2-game losing streak to Mary Baldwin and Greensboro, as opposed to Brevard's 2-game winning streak over Pfeiffer and North Carolina Wesleyan. Brevard 2-3 versus Methodist all time in the NCAA era, but those 2 wins have come in the last 2 matchups. 77-72 victories in both games against Methodist last season for the Tornadoes. We'll be back in just a moment with starters, some stats, a look at the history, and then it'll be time to go. We'll have the announcement of the starters from the PA, Ray Gill, and then we'll have the national anthem. It'll be time for some USA South basketball here on a Sunday. For everybody tuning into the NFL playoffs later today, you've got a warm-up here with Brevard College basketball tip-off at 2 o'clock, about 13 minutes away from tip here. NATOs and Monarchs back in just a moment. I am Brady Penn, hosting you this afternoon on the Bosch on the call for the game. We will be right back. Back here from the Bosch, just under 10 minutes away from tip-off here. Taking a look again real quick at that all-time series between Brevard and Methodist. It's only 5 games in the NCAA era. Brevard with a 2-3 all-time deficit. But again, both of those wins came last season, so the Tornadoes riding the momentum in the series, if you will, and also riding the momentum of a 2-game win streak over their last 2 games. An 86-84 victory over Pfeiffer and a 90-83 victory yesterday afternoon against North Carolina Wesleyan. And if you look back to last year when these two teams met on this floor, Methodist at Brevard, Broan Brinson had 19 points. Darian Hicklin for Methodist, who is second in the conference in points per game, only had 2 points. He was a year younger and didn't really throw up a lot of shots, 1 for 3. But for Brevard, LB Boyette had 20 points. LB, who's just now working his way back from an injury that had been bothering him, that I'm told by LB still bothers him with his elbow. He's had pretty much a broken elbow. He's getting back into the swing of things here, but last year in this matchup, 20 points. Carson Evans chipped in 13 as well. Now taking a look at this Methodist team, Darian Hicklin, as we mentioned, second in points per game in the conference, just under 16, and fourth in field goal percentage, shooting a 41% clip on the season. Zach Sledge is second in rebounds in the conference, 7.5, fourth in blocks at just about 1.5 per game. Methodist led by head coach Aloysius Henry, who is assisted by Kevin McLaughlin and Avery Daniels. When it comes to the Methodist offense, they've struggled a whole lot this year. Ranked 7th out of 8 in the conference at 65.4 points a game. Ranked dead last in defense, giving up nearly 78 points a game with a last place margin of minus 12 among all USA South teams. Last in field goal percentage at 40.1 and last in three-point percentage at under 25%. So, to say the least, Methodist has struggled to put the ball in the basket, and hopefully the Tornadoes are able to build on that and compound their defensive effort from yesterday, at least in the first half, over into today, and walk away with victory number 8 on the season. Tornadoes 7-8, 2-2 in USA South play early on. Methodist 3-10, 1-2 in conference play. Brevard looking for conference victory number 3 and overall victory number 8. Before we go anywhere else, let's look at the starters for Methodist. Darian Hicklin, Broan Brinson, Zach Sledge, Malik Ngong, and Aaron Potter. For the Tornadoes, it'll be Quincy Carter, who chipped in 22 points and 7 assists yesterday. Then Carson Evans, KK Horton, Jaden Carnes, and Charlie Hester. The 5 for head coach Lee Burgess this afternoon from the Bosch against the Methodist Monarchs. Don't go anywhere, folks. Just about 5.5 minutes away from the announcement of the starting lineups, the national anthem, and then we'll be ready to go for some USA South basketball here. Tornadoes and Monarchs coming up here in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere, folks. USA South basketball on tap here on a Sunday afternoon.
gentlemen, it's time to meet this afternoon's starting lineups. First, the Monarchs of Methodist University. At guard, a 6'1" sophomore from Durham, North Carolina, 11, Darian Hickman. At center, a 6'8" junior from Rocky Mount, North Carolina, 15, Zach Sledge. At forward, a 6'5" sophomore from Garland, North Carolina, 24, Malik Gong. At guard, a 6' junior from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, 44, Aaron Potter. And at guard, a 5'10" junior from Raleigh, North Carolina, as well, Brevard Brinson. And now, the starting lineup for your Brevard College Tornadoes. At guard, a 6'1" senior from Decatur, Georgia, number 4, Quincy Carter. At guard, a 5'10" senior from Charlotte, North Carolina, number 10, Carson Evans. At guard, a 6'2" junior from Asheville, North Carolina, number 11, KK Horton. At forward, a 6'4" sophomore from Concord, North Carolina, number 12, Jaden Carnes. And at guard, a 6'5" junior from Huntersville, North Carolina, number 13, Charlie Hester. Your Tornadoes are coached by Mr.
And there you have it, folks. These starting lineups for the Tornadoes in this one, taking on the 3-10 Monarchs. Tornadoes looking to make it back to 500 at 8-8. And the starting five for the Nados: Quincy Carter, Carson Evans, KK Horton, Jaden Carnes, and Charlie Hester. Should be a good one. Tornadoes donning their old blues. Methodist in the yellow and green uniforms. As the two teams get ready for the tip for Methodist, it'll be Zach Sledge. For Brevard, it'll be Jaden Carnes, the sophomore. As Sledge going around giving fist bumps to the entire NATO 5 before we get going. And looks like we are just about ready to go. NATO's riding a 2-game win streak in conference play, trying to make it 3 here this afternoon. And Sledge takes the tip to start things off. Here we go. And Gong gives over to Potter, and we are off. Potter right side, goes into the corner. Brinson now right back to Potter in front of the Tornado bench. Hicklin crossing over to his left. Second leading scorer in the conference defers to Brinson. Brinson with a hop over to the left side. Going inside now, Ngong turning around. Hicklin inside, throws one up off the glass. Too strong, rebound Quincy Carter, who pushes it in transition to Horton. Horton one-on-one on Sledge. Passes back out to Hester. From deep, Charlie Hester misses short. Rebound tipped up in the air and brought in by Jaden Carnes. Horton, left wing, analyzes the defense, now goes to Carson Evans. Carson to his left, gets a screen from Carnes, fires up his own three and buries it.
Carson Evans for 3.
Evans from deep, and that'll get the scoring going to start things off for the NATOs. Hicklin gives over to Slade. Now Brinson on the left side, charging in on Hester, throws up a layup, and it can't find the spot. Hester out to Horton. Now KK passes to Evans. Evans right side, thinks about another three, instead goes right back over to Horton. Horton hands Evans. Now he is going to take another three. Can't hit that one, just a bit strong. Rebound Brown Brinson, and now here comes Potter slowly up the court. Potter gives to Brown Brinson. Now Hicklin, the shifty guard. KK Horton on him. Gets two screens, goes around them, now is picked up by Quincy Carter. Stops his dribble, goes over to Brinson up top. Left side, Potter, left to right. Pass over to Slade. Slade working in the low post, now gives to Ngong in the corner. 3 on the shot clock. Ngong fires up a 3, in and out. Rebound KK Horton, stumbles for a moment, but he's off and running. Horton moves Evans around, now gives to Charlie Hester. Hester quickly to Carnes. He's going to shoot up his own 3, short. Potter with the rebound, bringing it up the floor. Hicklin, deep on the right side. Pass is intercepted. Carnes on the break. 2-on-2 fast break. Carnes goes up and gets the finish. Jaden Carnes with a nice move up in the air. Getting that one to find the bottom of the net off the glass. Hicklin once more in that same spot on the right side, gives to Ngong up top. Thought about a backdoor pass, instead over to Brinson on the left side. Brinson right back to Malik Ngong. Thinks about his pass, instead gives to Potter. Potter inside, through defenders, goes up. Nothing to be found there. Jaden Carnes with the board. Carnes over to Carson Evans. Carson moving quickly, steps back. Straight away three, in and out, in, back in. A whistle blows, and Methodist wants a timeout early on here. 8-0 Tornado run to start the game. These first 2 minutes plus, and the Nados off to a hot offensive start. Carson Evans twice from beyond the arc, and we'll be right back. Quick timeout there for Methodist, and now the Nados back on the floor, sporting an early 8-0 lead. Carson Evans a couple of times from beyond the arc, as well as the Jaden Carnes layup. Have the Tornadoes at where they are with some good defense to this point. Into the game is number 30, Ron Jones, as well as number 23, Deshaun Key. Jones gives to Brinson. Brinson charging inside, over to Ngong. Right elbow jumper is pure. KK Horton with the basketball. Hands to Hester, now over Quincy Carter. Quiet start for Quincy, same as yesterday, and then he went off for 22. Carnes to his right. Charlie Hester in traffic. Toss over to Evans in the corner. Now back up top, Carnes. Carnes, backdoor pass. Carter, one dribble. Corner. KK Horton thinks about it and steps out of bounds. Couldn't decide whether he wanted to shoot, drive, or pass, and I think kind of tried to do a couple different things and ended up stepping out. Jones gives to Key. Now Brinson. Back to Jones, sporting the headband. Key once more. Has a screen from Slade, goes inside, puts it up, and gets the layup. Sledge, rather. Apologies, Zach Sledge on the basket there. Charlie Hester. Up top, KK Horton. Evans, another three. He's letting it fly. Three already from beyond the arc for Carson Evans. The trifecta in full effect for Evans. 9 points already. Just over 4 minutes in. This time charging in and missing there is Ngong. Second chance though. Jones can't get it to fall. KK Horton. Bounce pass over to Carter. Up top. Hester. Evans. Once again. Evans. Yes! Carson Evans with his fourth three ball. Already in this one. Evans is letting it fire from deep. Oh my goodness. Brinson working on Carnes. 12-on-12 action. Mid-range jumper from the right side. Falls in. Carson Evans, 12 of the 14 Tornado points already. And it's all been from deep. Horton. Moves Hester down low. Pass into the corner. Quincy Carter. Back to KK. KK with a little head fake, stepping back, loses his dribble. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Evans once again. Hester left alone himself for three and buries it. 5 threes already for the Tornadoes 5 minutes into this one. 4 from Evans and 1 right there from Charlie Hester. It's 17-6. Key. Spinning around on KK Horton, goes over to Brinson. Leading scorer for Methodist last year in this gym, and that layup falls short. Rebound brought in by Jones. Back over to Sledge. Free throw line jumper is canned. Last year in this ball game, Brinson had 19 against the Tornadoes when they faced off in the Bosch. A 77-72 Tornado victory. Carson Evans had 13 in that one, already 12 for him here today. Horton, Quincy Carter, up top, goes to his left, Evans. Carnes, Charlie Hester, now Horton. KK, corner, head fake, goes inside on Sledge, and can't finish the reverse. Sledge with the rebound. Key, over to Jones in the left corner, now back to Deshaun Key. Around a screen from Sledge, trying to direct traffic here. 13:35 to go, 17-8 the score at the moment here in the first half as that pass floated into Sledge and a foul. We'll see if it's against Hester or KK Horton. It'll be against KK. 17-8 Tornado lead. Carson Evans has already buried 4 3-pointers, and we'll step aside momentarily for the timeout. 17-8 Tornado lead, 13.5 to go, half number 1. Back in a moment from the Bosch. Back on the floor after the timeout. First team foul for the NATOs going against KK Horton as he held Sledge on the pass down low. Gong gets the ball up top with Charlie Hester guarded up on him. Sledge receives a bounce pass just inside the three-point line. Now Brone Brinson. Brinson charging inside, puts up a left-handed layup and a strong finish. Wanted an and one. Asking for a call, barking to the official heading up the floor. And it's a 7-point game right now. Carnes gets a pass from Carter. Now Horton. Charlie Hester up top. Ranging to his right. Now Carter. Quincy back to Charlie. Charlie from deep once more. Can't find that one. Rebound brought in by the lengthy Zach Sledge. Sledge a couple of rebounds here early on as Brone Brinson with Carnes on him. Charges inside, passes down low to Sledge. It's taken away. KK Horton on the break. Bounce pass out in transition. Evans goes up, and he's fouled. Carson Evans hacked there. It'll be 2 free throws. That one goes against Malik Gong. First free throw from Carson Evans is good. Number 32, Caleb Barreto, coming in for Methodist. Chancey Watson and Jeremy Posner both in for the NATOs now as Hester and Carnes will take a seat. Charles Reed getting ready to check in as well. We'll see if Evans is the one he gets. 12:37 to play. In the first half, Carson Evans already with 13 points. And Carson hits the second. 14 in the first half for Carson Evans, and that will be who Charles Reed gets. Number 33, Connor Raines, in the game now for Methodist. Zach Sledge will take a seat for the first time. So Deshaun Key at the point right now, guarded up by Chancey Watson. He'll move around a screen from Gong. Raines has it left side. Now Moretto. Jones. Key once more. Going to fire up a three. Can't find it. Rebound Quincy Carter. Quincy. Deep pass over the head of Jeremy Posner. Quincy had a nice find yesterday where he weaved it full court between defenders. Trying to do a little bit of the same there and can't quite bring it down enough. A turnover there for the Tornadoes. A rare turnover to start this ball game. As Key goes around a screen from Rain. Sly White picks him up, newly checked into the game. Ron Jones charging inside, loses the basketball. A whistle is blown. And it'll be, I believe, a kicked ball. As it goes into Ngong. Key now searching for a pass, ranging to his left, goes over to Gong on the right side, working on Sly White, loses it for a moment, goes up with a layup, hits the side of the backboard, rebounds Sly White, now Chancey Watson controls it. Watson to Posner, passes over to Reed, now Quincy Carter. Quincy guarded tightly, fits it into Sly White. White, a couple of dribbles, now pass into the corner, Charles Reed, 11 on the shot clock. Reed bounces it over to Chancey Watson. Left side, inside the arc, stepping back, two-pointer is good. Jones into the corner, Moretto. Jones, once more, a deep three from the left side, rattles home. So a tray ball there, and the lead back down to 8 with 11:02 to go as Posner is hit and fouled by Ron Jones, stumbling into the crowd. Jones doesn't like it. And now we'll have a timeout coming. 21-13, 11 even to go here in this one of the Bosch. A Sunday afternoon, USA South Conference basketball. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. Back out of the timeout here. Sledge back in for Methodist as well as Darian Hicklin. No changes for the NATOs as Charles Reed moves to his right. Fits one into White. Sly over to Quincy Carter. Right elbow Charles Reed. Backing down. Physical and a blocking foul against Deshaun Key. He doesn't like it. Charles Reed going at Key and being physical right there. Charles inbound here from the baseline. And now a foul against Moretto. He was holding on to Quincy Carter. And Methodist racking up quick fouls here. We're only about halfway through the opening half. And Methodist already now with 4 team fouls as Charles floats one into Quincy Carter. Chancey Watson up top. Brings Posner towards him. Jeremy looking around, goes to his left, Charles Reed in the corner. Reed charging inside, puts up a layup and finishes. Reed knocking 2 more in off the glass there. Key hands to Ron Jones, now Hicklin. Second leading scorer in the USA South in terms of points per game. And he has it up top. Gets a screen from Sledge, stepping back, crossing over now. Goes inside on Sly White. Turnaround, mid-range jumper is pure. Darian Hicklin to the basket there, trying to get himself going. Posner. Chancey Watson right side. Moretto on him. Sly White. Pass to Quincy Carter. Quincy fires from deep. Just off the back iron, no good. Sledge hauls in the rebound. Hicklin, pass in transition out to Key. Key crosses over on Posner, goes up, cannot finish, through contact, no call. Here goes Charles Reed. Reed, Posner on the fast break. Posner, corner, Chancey Watson from D, bang! Chancey Watson with the trifecta. And now we'll have some subs coming in. Broen Brinson back in for Methodist. RJ Johnson in for the NATOs. Saw a couple minutes of RJ yesterday, including a dunk from the young sophomore. Broen Brinson with the basketball, leading scorer early on for Methodist with 4. Hicklin over to Ron Jones. Jones gives to Moretto. Now Hicklin once again has a screen from Sledge, uses it. Goes to his left, Broen Brinson. Chancey Watson on him, spinning around. Backdoor pass, Moretto goes up, he finishes, and the foul. And one for Caleb Moretto. He's got himself into the scoring, and a free throw coming with it. And fouls against Jeremy Posner. It's Brevard's second. Moretto hits the free throw. A three-point play for Methodist, and the lead is at 8 right now for the NATOs. Charles Reed calling out a play as Methodist going to start employing some trap, I believe, as Chancey Watson loses the basketball. Moretto has it. Pass in transition to Jones, and an easy layup. Just like that, a 5-point run for Methodist as Johnson gives to Reed, who's going to try again to get up the court. Posner over to Johnson. Johnson loses it momentarily, heads it back though. Charles Reed, all of a sudden some chaos on defense as Johnson going to step back and fire a three. Johnson can't get it, but the offensive rebound goes to Posner. Jeremy Posner saves the possession. Now a second chance for Brevard. Charles Reed swings it to his left, Chancey Watson. Chancey spinning around, back over to Charles, 10 on the shot clock. Reed trying to get to his spot to his left. White nearly intercepted. Chancey now going to fire from deep. Short, rebound Moretto. Out in the open, pass to Jones, tries to fit it in, and it goes over the head of Jones. A little bit of contact with him and Sly White. No foul though, and it will be Brevard basketball. No turnover. Or no foul, rather. It is a turnover. Correction. Coming back in here is Malik Gong. And now Chancey to inbound. More defensive trap tactics here. That one is taken away and intercepted. Broen Brinson. Moretto receives it now down low. Gong goes up with a layup, and the Tornadoes all of a sudden cannot handle the defensive adjustments from Methodist. Some sloppy passing, though, but now Jeremy Posner in the open court. Bounce pass over to White. He floats one up and gets it to fall. 6-point lead for the NATOs in a game that's felt a lot more dominant in favor of Brevard. Broen Brinson on the left side. Chancey on him. Has a screen to his right from Sledge. Now switches on with Johnson. Going inside on RJ Johnson, picks up his dribble, pass to Gong. He goes up and cannot finish. Rebound is knocked around, brought in by Brinson, and he goes up with a shot and gets rejected by RJ Johnson down low. Johnson, a tall, imposing figure at about 6'6" or 6'7", gets the rejection there. It'll stay with Methodist when we get back. Another timeout, 7:28 to go. NATO's leading by 6, 28-22 on a Sunday afternoon. Back here in just a moment, Tornadoes and Monarchs. Back out of the timeout. NATO's holding on to a 6-point lead in a game that really has not felt close, but Methodist hanging around. The 3-10 Methodist Monarchs. Already 22 points on the board for the last-ranked defense and shooting team in the USA South. Last-ranked offense, rather, as Gong receives the inbound and floats it up to Moretto. Hicklin will go to work. He passes to Brinson on his left. Brinson floats one up. Sledge goes up, climbs the ladder to get it, turns around, and fires up a little float job. 2 more for Methodist. Charles Reed pressured, gives off to Chancey Watson. Watson skips it over to R.J. Johnson, who gets away from his defender. Johnson doubled off, gets it over to Chancey Watson. 7 minutes to go in half number 1. Chancey scoots over to his left, swings it over. Posner wide open from deep. He buries it. Jeremy Posner knocking that one down. 3 more for the NATOs. 7-point lead with 6:40 to go in the opening half. As Brinson gives to Moretto. Moretto, a young player that's given Methodist some good minutes so far, including an and one, as Hicklin hits third gear, goes inside, and bounces it in off the glass. Hicklin, a dangerous scorer, second in the conference in points per game at just under 16 per contest as Posner swings it over to Johnson. Now Reed. Charles Reed, right wing. Posner in the corner, going to fire up another 3, just a bit too strong. Here goes Gong. Posner will pick him up with 6:03 to play in the half. Gong, now White switching on. Sledge turning around, rejected. Jeremy Posner says absolutely not. Second day in a row we've seen a big block from Posner, and now he'll have a seat as L.B. Boyette comes in for the first time in this one. Moretto will head over to the bench as well. Ron Jones back in for Methodist as Sledge gets the inbound, thinks about a shot, instead turns it over to Hicklin. Hicklin inside on Chancey Watson, spinning around, going to turn around and fire from mid-range left side and drill it. Reed floats one up to Boyette. A defender missed their mark there. Chancey Watson to his right, moves Reed out of the way. Now Johnson back to Chancey. Chancey, a deep 2 with money. 2 more for Chancey Watson. And it's a 5-point game, 33-28. Sledge receives it on the right wing, going to work on L.B. Boyette. Turning around, he passes back out to Hicklin. 5:12 to go, first half. NATO's leading at 33-28. Hicklin inside, picks up his dribble, goes back up top to Sledge. 8 on the shot clock. Right side, Ron Jones, harassed by Sly White, goes inside and gets fouled. Hacked by White. A little bit of frustration on White's part. Did seem like a clear foul, but possibly frustration with himself. And a group of Tornadoes getting ready to check back into this game, including Carson Evans, who already has 14 in this first half. Early on, knocked down 4 threes. Impressive start of the game for Evans as Jones buries free throw number 1. Carnes and KK Horton, as well as Evans, come back in. Charles Reed, Sly White, and Chancey Watson each have a seat. Jones with free throw number 2, knocks it down. Carson Evans going to go to work here, trying to beat the trap. Gives over to LB. Now Evans going to have to get the ball past midcourt, and does. Fits it into Johnson. LB Boyette left side. LB moving Carson Evans. Now gives to KK Horton. Carnes up top, swings to his right. Now Carson Evans. Evans with Jones on him, one-on-one. Ball poked away, gets over to R.J. Johnson. Boyette, 3 on the shot clock. Evans in the corner. This one short. Offensive rebound, Jaden Carnes. LB Boyette up top. LB to his left, tries to fire one into Carnes. It's batted away. Right back to LB. 4:22 to go in the half. 33-30 ball game. Up top, LB firing from deep, short. Rebound brought in by Hicklin, and he's going to knock it out of his own hands, out of bounds. Hicklin climbing all the way up to the booth up here after turning the ball over, and a lucky break there for the Tornadoes, up 3. Evans, a rare miss from 3 a moment ago. He has the ball back. Now here's LB. Johnson, right wing, back to LB up top. Contact from Hicklin. Able to retrieve the basketball. 8 on the shot clock. Good defense from Methodist these last 2 possessions. Evans deep again, in and out. Rebound to R.J. Johnson, using his length to his advantage. Goes up through contact and draws a foul. 2 coming from the stripe here for R.J. Johnson. And before we get to that, it'll be a timeout, with the NATOs holding a 3-point lead, trying to make it 5. 3:51 to go in half number 1. 33-30 in favor of your Brevard Tornadoes. Back here in just a moment out of the timeout. Don't go anywhere, folks. Out of the timeout, it'll be 2 free throws for R.J. Johnson. R.J. was able to get an offensive rebound, go inside, and draw the contact. R.J. has only put up 1 shot. It was a 3. He missed it, so a chance for his first points here. And there's his first point. Knocking down the free throw. Johnson. No good on the second. Gong with the rebound. It's a 4-point Tornado lead with just under 4 to go here in half number 1. Tornadoes outpacing their first half numbers from yesterday. They finished at 29 at halftime against Wesleyan, as Key goes over to Rains. Just checked back in now. Hicklin. Hicklin through defenders, through contact, throwing one up and hitting it. Hicklin didn't really look like he had a plan there except to attack. And that he does. Carson Evans bounces it over to LB. Now Carnes, a dribble, a hand back to LB. LB firing from deep again, that one off the mark. Gong with the rebound and a chance to tie or take the lead here in the first half for Methodist. Brinson, pass down low, Rains, he floats one up and gets the finish. Rolls around the rim and then tucks itself in. Carson Evans. Quiet since re-entering. A couple of missed threes as R.J. Johnson has it into the corner. Evans, another 3 attempt. This one off the mark, and Carson Evans has gone cold. Hit 4 threes early on, now 3 misses in a row. As Gong nearly loses his footing and defers back over to Darian Hicklin. Ball game tied up 34 apiece. 2:31 to go in half number 1. Hicklin, Carnes on him. Charges inside, trying to lose him. Throws it up off the glass and finishes. Darian Hicklin with 10 points here in half number 1. Evans. Over to R.J. Johnson. Now Carnes up top. Horton saves it in the corner. Now KK fires over to Carson Evans. RJ, right corner, working on Rains. Back to Evans. Up top, KK. LB, left alone from deep. Can't find it. Offensive rebound, Carson Evans. Johnson goes up, thought about the dunk. Does get the finish on the layup. And we're back tied at 36 apiece. Got the announcer all excited up here, looking like he was about to throw it down, but we'll take the 2. 36 apiece with 1:52 to go in the first half. Coach Burgess talking to his team. Carson Evans leading all scorers with 14. Darian Hicklin right behind him with 10. for the Methodist Monarchs. Look at team stats. NATO's shooting 46% from the field. Methodist shooting 57% from the field, which is an alarming statistic if you're the NATO's, because that is the 7th-ranked offense in the conference at 65 points a game. Last in field goal percentage at 40.1%, shooting well above their average right now at a 57% clip. Both teams shooting 33% from deep, although for Methodist, that's a 1 for 3. For Brevard, that's 7 for 21, letting them fly. Rebounds dead even at 14 apiece as well. Hicklin inbounds this one to Deshaun Key. Key, Sledge, Brinson, Hicklin, and Gong, the 5 for Methodist. Evans, Carnes, Horton, Carter, and Hester, the 5 for the NATO's. 1:40 to go, tied up at 36. Key inside, pass over to Sledge. He mishandles, tries to get a pass back out, loses it out of bounds right off the baseline, and it'll be going Brevard's way. Only the 4th turnover for Methodist, Brevard with 4 of their own. So pretty clean half for both teams in terms of protecting the basketball as Quincy Carter fits a pass into Jaden Carnes, who goes up and finishes strong with the left hand. A nice pass there from Quincy. And then an even better finish from Jaden Carnes. 38-36, 1:14 to go. Sledge setting a screen for Key, who goes over to his right, Broan Brinson. Brinson fires across the floor into the other corner to Hicklin. Hicklin on Carter, inside, back into the corner. Brinson all alone. That one rattles around and bounces in. Methodist retakes a 1-point lead, 39-38, 53 seconds to go in the first half. KK Horton to Charlie Hester. Hester, Carter, back to Carnes, nearly swatted away by Broan Brinson, who's going to apply pressure. Charlie Hester, now Evans, finds a cutting Carnes, left alone under the basket. 40-39, back and forth, final segment of this first half. Darian Hicklin, 26 seconds to go in half number 1. NATO's will likely get the last shot. About 5 seconds between the two clocks as Brinson, backdoor pass, Key going up, trying to get the finish, cannot, rebound hauled in, Quincy Carter, 14 seconds, pushing the tempo. Carson Evans goes up and gets the finish. Evans gets kicked on the way down. I don't know how that wasn't a foul. Carson Evans on his way back down got kicked in the face, it looked like. He'll have to settle for the 2 with no free throw attempt, though. 16 first half points for Carson Evans. And Coach Burgess over by the scorer's table asking, how is that not a foul? And the official giving whatever his explanation is. 8.7 seconds to go in half number 1. NATO's holding a 3-point lead, 42-39 the tally. Hicklin moving quick up the floor, down to 5 seconds. Hicklin charges in on KK Horton. Pass back out to Moretto for 3. Can't hit it. That'll take us to the break. KK Horton hauling it in off the miss. And we head into halftime with the NATO's holding a 42-39 lead. Top 3 leading scorers for the Tornadoes. Carson Evans with 16. A brilliant first half for him, including 4 made 3-pointers. Chancey Watson with 7. Jaden Carnes with 6. Carnes just keeps finding a way to get open underneath the basket. For Methodist, Darian Hicklin with 10. Ron Jones and Zach Sledge with 6 apiece. You look at the team stats. Again, Methodist shooting the ball really well, just under 55%. A team that, on average, only shoots 40%. Kind of playing above their heads right now, it seems like. Brevard not far behind at 51.5% from the field, 16 of 31 to Methodist, 17 of 31. When it comes to three-point percentages, Methodist 2 for 5, good for 40%. NATO 7 for 21, good for 33%. The rebounding battle being won right now by the Tornadoes, 16-14. And then you look at the lead changes for in this game. NATO's have had 17 minutes and 17 seconds with the lead. Methodist only 51 seconds. They led a couple of times late in that first half. NATO's winning the assist battle, turnover battle, clean and even, 4 apiece for each team. NATO's with a couple more bench points, 17-12. But Methodist winning the points in the paint battle, 22-14. In terms of second chance points, both teams sitting at 6. Not a lot of fouls either. Neither team got into the bonus in that first half. And as a result, with all of that, 42-39 the lead for the Tornadoes here at the break. 3-point deficit for the Monarchs. The 3-10 Methodist Monarchs putting up a good fight with the Tornadoes, who are trying to reach 500 here in the Bosch. Should be an interesting second half. We're going to step aside. Tornadoes and Monarchs coming back up here in just a little bit. Do not go anywhere, folks. Brevard College basketball on a beautiful Sunday afternoon.
It's important to study English because language
history
Back here, ready for second half action. Tornadoes and Monarchs. Tornadoes holding a 42-39 lead. Taking a look again at some of these first half statistics. Brevard over 50%. Methodist over 50% from the field. Brevard just under 52%. 33% from 3, 7 of 21. Methodist 54.8% from the field. 40% from deep, 2 for 5. And in terms of points in the paint, 22-14, the advantage for Methodist, have been having their way in the painted area against these NATO's inside defenders. For the Tornadoes, Carson Evans, 16 points in the first half, 3 assists as well. Went 4 of 8 from deep, and 8 different Tornadoes scored. And funnily enough, KK Horton, Quincy Carter, and LB Boyette are the 3 that checked into the game without scoring. And obviously, if you tuned in yesterday or keep up with Tornado basketball at all, you realize that all 3 of those are key contributors, especially Quincy Carter, who had 22, 7, and 5 yesterday afternoon, but yet to get into the scoring today. 42-39, the advantage for BC as we prepare to start the second half. See Coach Burgess rallying the troops as we get ready for half number 2. Methodist getting ready as well. We'll see what kind of adjustments head coach Aloysius Henry comes out with, in the second half. The horn sounds. Just about ready to get going here once again. Horton, Hester, Evans, Carter, and Carnes, the 5 for BC. Donning the all-blue uniforms today. Carson Evans complimenting the blue uniforms with the orange shoes. Nice touch, 10. For the Monarchs, it'll be Jones, Brinson, Hinklin, Sledge, and Gong. And Carson Evans starts things off for the Tornadoes. Quincy Carter, pass to a cutting Carnes. He's able to retrieve it and cannot finish at the basket. Frustrated with himself a little bit there. Here comes Brown Brinson. Brinson left side, going in, backing down on Evans, turning around, fires over a pass to Sledge, and a foul. That foul will be against Quincy Carter. Jones floats it into Sledge, who gives over to Gong. Gong, that ball knocked up in the air. Quincy Carter has it, leads. Charlie Hester out in transition, and Charlie Hester throws it down. Hester letting the rim rock a little bit there. An early exclamation point from the Tornadoes as Hester switches on to Brinson. Now Hinklin has it. Hinklin inside, pass back over to Brinson, who's left alone for 3. A pump fake gets Hester to fly out of the way, and he knocks it down. Hester and Brinson tick for tack as that pass is knocked out of bounds by Hinklin. Looking like a free safety there on the deep pass. Defense chance from the Methodist bench as Carson Evans tosses it in to Charlie Hester. Now KK Horton. KK dishes to Carter. Now Evans left elbow. Swings it back over to Quincy, who's going to fire a corner 3. Too strong. Rebound brought in Carson Evans. Evans, free throw line jumper is money. Carnes got tossed to the ground by somebody there. Nothing called. The basket there for Carson Evans, who has 18. Brinson and to Jones. Hinklin with it. Getting a screen from Gong. Goes around it with Carnes on him. Turning around, fires up a mid-range, and gets the shooter's roll. That one flirting with the rim for a minute, and then drop it in. Hester, Evans, quick pass to Carter. Turned around, free throw line jumper. That one doesn't get the roll. The opposite of what happened just a moment ago for Hinklin. It's a 2-point game, 2 minutes into the second half. Brinson around a screen from Sledge. Left side, Ron Jones working on Carnes. Drives in, fires it up, and he's rejected in a foul. That one looked like all ball, but Carnes tacked with the foul. And so now 2 free throws coming here for Ron Jones and a chance to tie the ball game up.
Methodist for 30, Ron Jones.
Jones misses free throw number 1, and Connor Raines will come into the ball game. Sledge heading over to the bench. A second free throw coming here for Jones. And he hits it. 8 points for Jones. And now Caleb Moretto in for the Monarchs. Methodist employed a lot of trap action in that first half, laying back a bit right now as Carson Evans calls out the play. Moretto on him. We'll see if Carson goes to work. He doesn't. He defers over to Jaden Carnes up top. Carnes, chest pass over to Hester. Carter receives a pass, gets bumped a little bit by Brinson, then decides to muscle his way in, and Quincy Carter's into the scoring. A little bit of talk there to Brinson, who has something to say to himself, walking back up the floor. Quincy Carter, a bit of an edge to him, and that's why you love a veteran player like that. We saw him start off slow yesterday and then go berserk. We'll see if it happens again as Brinson fires up a 3 and misses short. Quincy Carter in the open fast break. Carson Evans with the left-handed layup. 20 points for number 10. It's the Carson Evans game. Yesterday was Quincy Carter. Today it's all about Carson. 20 points already for the senior NATO guard as Gong dribbles to his left and passes over to Hicklin. Hicklin quickly stepping inside and throwing it up off the glass. Hicklin's been doing it all game long. A great touch off the glass as Charlie Hester gets a good look from 3. Instead, goes over to Evans up top. Carson to his right. Back to Hester. Around Carnes. Now to his right, Carson Evans. Carson thinks about Carnes. Now goes to Hester. Still plenty of time on the 24. Bounce pass down low. Quincy Carter. One-on-one with Brinson. Turning around through contact. He goes up off the glass and a foul. Quincy Carter trying to get physical there with Brinson, who was standing his ground, but a late foul there. 2 free throws coming here for Quincy, who just now entered the scoring here in the second half after a 22-point outing yesterday. We'll see how the second half goes for Quincy, clearly showing he wants to be aggressive early on here after a quiet first half. Quincy knocks down free throw number 1. And for Carter, he did have 4 rebounds and 4 assists in the first half, so it's not like he was just silent, just not really the aggressor on the scoring front, leaving that to guys like Evans, Carnes, and Watson. As Quincy's second free throw rattles home. It's a 5-point game, just about 4 minutes into half number 2. Gong. Hands over to Key. It's nearly taken away, but Hicklin has it. Going inside is Hicklin. Pass into the corner. Moretto for 3. Too strong. Rebound KK Horton. KK out in the open. 3-on-3 break. Hester goes up with a layup. Nice finish. Charlie elevating there to finish that one as Methodist starts this possession kind of quick and slows things down. Gong wanted a bounce pass. Now floats up top to Hicklin. NATO bench getting into it. Hicklin going from left to right on Carnes, fires a free throw line jumper, cannot finish, rebound knocked around, trying to save it as Moretto, and he will, off of Charlie Hester's legs. A timeout coming. NATO's have opened up a 7-point lead after entering the second half up 3. We'll be back here in just a moment. Tornadoes and Monarchs. Back out of the timeout. Methodist basketball after a heads-up save there by Moreto. Passes into Sledge, who's back in. He's guarded by Quincy Carter. Moreto once again. Now Deshaun Key. Key fits it in. Sledge going down low. Ball's taken away. Carnes with the steal. Floats a pass up to Charlie Hester. Charlie on the break is trying to get the pass over to Evans, who is rejected. But a travel beforehand by Charlie Hester. Took too many steps. Some perceived contact, Charlie believes. Coach Burgess pleading his case over by the scorer's table. He's saying that Hester was bobbling the ball. It wasn't a clean gather. But the referees have made their decision, and it's Methodist basketball. Ron Jones, left side, in front of his own bench. Up top to Key. Key passes one in to Sledge. It's knocked up in the air. Once again, trying to find Sledge. They turn the ball over. KK Horton, nice little pass over to Hester. Hester inside, puts up the layup. Floating over Key once again, and Hester's starting to get going offensively. Going inside, Deshaun Key on the baseline. He's out of bounds. Another Methodist turnover. That's 3 in a row. And Brown Brinson back into this game. Key and Moreto both go and take seats. Gong back in himself. Here's Carson Evans, 20 points for him. Bounce pass to Quincy Carter is intercepted. Hicklin fighting for it. It'll be NATO ball, I believe is the call. Hicklin was trying to save it, or trying to take it away. Lost it, couldn't save it. And it is Brevard basketball. Just in front of his own bench, KK Horton will inbound. Evans. Carnes up top. To his right, now passes to KK. KK thinks about the three, now charges inside, puts up a layup and a foul on the floor. We'll see who this is against. It looks like it's Jones. It is. Push there against Ron Jones. It's his second foul. Second for Methodist here in half number 2 as Charlie Hester has it in the corner, gives over to Carter. Quincy bounces it down low to Carnes. Carnes cutting to Hester. He gets the pass in, and now another foul. This one against Hicklin. Brown Brinson and the Monarchs are frustrated with the whistles on this end of the floor. That's Hicklin's first, and quickly the third for Methodist in succession. Carnes fires over to KK Horton, who slows things down, looks over to the sideline for the call. Now gives to Charlie Hester. Hester around the corner. Pass, Carson Evans right side. Evans back to Hester. It's taken away by Ron Jones. On the break, here goes Brinson. Trying to speed his way to the basket. He'll take it himself coast to coast, and he's fouled. That's going to go against Quincy Carter. Still no changes for the NATOs, and as I say that, Charles Reed and Chancey Watson make their way over to the scorer's table. They're going to get ready to check in for who we'll see. Early indication maybe Horton and Evans as the first free throw good from Brown Brinson. That's exactly who comes out. Carson Evans and KK Horton both going to take a seat in favor of Charles Reed and Chancey Watson. Watson with 7 points. Charles Reed with 2. Only has put up 1 shot, so efficient for number 3. Free throw good there from Brinson. 7-point game, 56-49. About 6 minutes in. Quincy Carter receives the inbound, now goes right back to Reed. Quincy had the half court open, but deferred back to Charles. Watson hands to Charlie Hester. Now Quincy to his left, Charles Reed. Bounces at left elbow, Charlie Hester. Hester going to back down on Sledge and go to Carnes. Carnes going to shoot up a three. That one just short. Hicklin going to race to the basket, throws it up, and wildly missing. And there's going to be an offensive foul going the other way. I believe this one will be against Sledge. The Methodist. It is Sledge. It's the 4th for Methodist. Watson into Charlie Hester. Watson, defensive pressure in the backcourt from Methodist, but Charles gets it over to Quincy Carter. And now they set back up. Chancey to his left, gives to Quincy. Carnes, a dribble and a handoff to Charlie Hester. Hester, left to right. Back out to Charles Reed in front of the NATO bench. 13 on the shot clock, 13 to go in the second half. Quincy bounces it over to Chancey Watson on the left side. Chancey backing down on Sledge. Going to turn around and pass up top Carter. Carter, 3 on the shot clock. Straight away, 3 short. Rebound, Jaden Carnes. And he puts back up the second chance opportunity. 58-49, 9-point lead for the NATOs with 12:48 to go in this one. Hicklin gets a screen from Sledge, goes away from it, now spinning around with Reed on him. Pass to Jones, now up top Gong. Left side, Broen Brinson. Bounces it to Sledge. Sledge going to try and muscle his way on Carter. Backing around, pass under the corner, Jones. Puts a move on Carnes, through contact, and an offensive foul charge there. Charlie Hester got the feet set and drew the charge for Methodist's 5th foul. That's Jones's 3rd foul. Jeremy Posner will come in to get Charlie Hester. How about that? You take a charge, you're rewarded with a seat on the bench. Chancey Watson to inbound. Carter. Now Watson quickly going over to Charles Reed, who will slow it up and go back to Posner. Charles letting everybody get set. Sly White into the game too now, by the way. Sly has it. A dribble, a backdoor pass. Posner rejected. What a monster block there from Zach Sledge. Posner with a taste of his own medicine. He's had a couple huge blocks the last 2 days, but rejected there by Sledge. And this one, a pass fitted into Zach Sledge unsuccessfully, was taken away by Sly White, but a foul. They're going to say that Sly got caught up on Sledge. Say that fast a couple times. Sly caught up fast on Sledge. A timeout here with a 58-49 tally. 12 minutes even to go. We'll step aside back here in just a moment from the Bosch. Broen Brinson to inbound here for the Monarchs. R.J. Johnson back in for the Tornadoes. Second time we've seen him as his man Gong catches the inbound and goes into Sledge. Posner tried to take it away. Instead, Sledge will muscle his way inside, put one up off the glass. 2 more for Methodist. Watson trying to beat the trap, gets it over to Charles Reed on the left side. Now Posner. Left wing goes to Watson. Reed almost intercepted it from his own teammate. Chancey to his left, guarded by Jones. Now Posner. Gong picks up on him. R.J. Johnson, right wing, guarded tightly by Brinson. Good defense for Methodist this possession. 6 on the shot clock. Watson to his left, going to fire up a deep jumper and cans it. A deep 2 there for Watson. Official giving word to the scorer's table that that was not a 3. It was hard to tell from up here, but the official had a great look at it right behind where the shot was fired. Broen Brinson up the floor with the NATOs holding a 9-point lead. 11 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this one. Gong going to work on White. Charges in, turning around, goes up through contact, and gets the finish. Reed moving around on the baseline, finds Posner open, broke the trap. Posner now flips to R.J. Johnson. Charles Reed with the basketball. Reed around a screen from Sly White. He's going to take it in himself and cannot get the roll. Nearly a strong finish there from Charles Reed. Instead, he'll come up empty-handed as Hicklin going to charge to the basket and a reach. Ball was ripped away, but not cleanly per the ref. Now, Allen goes against R.J. Johnson. That's R.J.'s first and the Tornadoes' fifth as Caleb Raines, or Connor Raines rather, checks in for Methodist. Seen him a couple times. Only 2 points for him, though, in 7 minutes. Brinson fits into Gong, knocked away. Nearly hit a kid that was walking back into the gym with the ball. Did not, though. Kid escaped harm's way. That's Brinson going to try again on the inbound here. Does find Gong tight in the corner. Now goes back to Brinson on the right wing. Posner on him. He charges inside, dumps off to Jones, who goes up and is fouled by Posner. I don't think Jeremy's going to argue that one. It did go straight up, but I think he hacked a little bit. And now 2 free throws coming here for Ron Jones in a 7-point game. Jones, 8 points for him, only 2 for 3 from the field. And the first free throw rattles around and goes in. Pointing into the crowd, not sure if it's someone he knows or someone heckling. After he made that first free throw, Deshaun Key getting ready to check back in for Methodist too as Jones knocks both free throws down. And Key comes in to get Jones. Defensive call coming in from the bench. Charles Reed has it, goes over to Johnson, who had Posner open, instead defers behind him to Reed. That pass floated up. Oh, Chancey Watson looking like a wide receiver there, getting that one. Posner has it and goes up top to Charles Reed. Charles with Key on him, trying to find an angle. Gives to Johnson, now Sly White. A dribble, a pass into the corner. Posner going to quick fire the three, can't hit. Rebound. Johnson goes up and one. R.J. Johnson in the paint with the offensive rebound. Goes up through contact, gets the basket, and now a chance for a 3-point play in a 7-point game here, 10:01 to play.
At the line for Tornadoes, number 25, R.J. Johnson.
Johnson cannot knock down the free throw, so not quite able to finish the and one opportunity, but a nice basket after the offensive rebound for Johnson. Brinson has a screen from Raines, goes away from it. Some quick dribbling, now he goes over to Key. Key whips over to Hicklin. Hicklin with Posner on him. He's been going to the rack all night, going up off the glass. He goes inside once again. This time off the glass, cannot finish. Ball is loose on the ground. A swarm of players fighting for it. It's a jump ball, and the possession arrow stays in Methodist's favor. A swarm of yellow and blue jerseys mixed down there together for the basketball. So Methodist with another possession here, or a continuation of possession. Brinson looking for somebody to find, and a timeout from head coach Aloysius Henry. 9:34 to play here in the Bosch. 62-55 the lead for the Tornadoes over the Monarchs. And, you know, despite Methodist being kind of in a couple of down years last season and this season, this game always does manage to be close. A 77-72 victory both times for the Tornadoes last season against this team. And now, despite a game that it feels like the Brevard Tornadoes have played really, really well in, they only find themselves up 7. And when you look at the field goal percentages, pretty identical. NATO's shooting 52%, 53.7% for Methodist. And from deep, the NATOs have really cooled down, hit a lot early on, hit 5 in the first 4 or 5 minutes. Since then, tough sledding from deep, 7 for 25 total for the NATOs. and not quite able to knock those down with as much consistency, and haven't had a ton of success in the paint either. When you look at points in the paint, well, I take that back. In the first half, NATO's trailed points in the paint by 8. Now all of a sudden they have the lead in the points in the paint department, 30-28. So that's actually a lie. I was about to tell a lie on the air. 16 points in the paint already here in half number 2 for the NATOs as they come back out of the timeout. Methodist couldn't find anybody on the inbound, causing them to call that timeout a moment ago. We'll see if the NATOs are stuck as tight to these Methodist offensive players here. Brinson looking still, does get it into Gong just ahead of the violation as Key with Johnson on him is going to fire a deep 2, cannot knock it down. Rebound R.J. Johnson. Good hustle there to get to it. One of those long rebounds. Reed motions Chancey Watson into the corner. Now a cutting White is found by Jeremy Posner. Good assist there. 2 more for Brevard. 9-point ball game, 9:03 to go. Gong to Key. Key around a screen from Sledge. Picked up by White, loses his footing, picks up his dribble, and another timeout from Methodist. Coach Aloysius Henry saw his player get caught up and called another timeout, so we'll take one with him. 64-55, 8:53 to go here from the Bosch on the latter half of a back-to-back for the Tornadoes at home. Don't go anywhere. Monarchs and Tornadoes. Back out of the quick timeout, 8:53 remaining here in this one as Hicklin floats in a pass to Brinson on the right side. Brinson with a switch has Johnson on him. Brinson trying to dance on R.J. Johnson, who's not going anywhere. Good defense. Bounce pass into Sledge. He goes into the corner. Ron Jones from D buries it. A 3 for Ron Jones. Hey, Methodist just continues to hang around. 6-point Tornado lead as Watson passes into Posner. Now back to Chancey. Charles Reed floats into R.J. Johnson using his wingspan, who fires one up high to Chancey Watson. And now the offense getting into their set. Chancey away from a screen goes to White. White straightaway 3. Bang! Sly White from beyond the arc. And the NATOs finally get the lid off the basket from deep. They had started off super hot. Since then, not so much. Sitting at 7 for 25, now 8 for 26 from deep as Hicklin goes to Jones. Charles Reed tries to swat from behind. Now Brinson, left side, thinking about the 3. Now motions for Sledge to come give him a screen. He goes away from it. Chancey Watson sticking on him. 6 on the shot clock. A 3 from Brinson is short. Rebound Jeremy Posner. And now here comes Charles Reed. See if he pushes the tempo or not. Charles trying to use his speed. Bounces it down low to White. Back out to Charles. Open from deep. Reed, yes! Charles Reed banging one out right after Sly White. NATO starting to find their stroke again from beyond the arc. Moreto getting ready to check back in for Methodist. No changes imminent for the Tornadoes with 7:25 to go and a 12-point lead. Hicklin working on Reed, possibly the best Tornado defender, and that one no good. Hicklin fired up a mid-range with Charles Reed in close proximity. Here's R.J. Johnson. Johnson from left to right, loses the basketball. It's on the ground. He saves it, gets it over to White. Charles Reed, one-on-one with Brinson, goes up, off the glass, and is fouled. 2 free throws coming here for Charles Reed, who all of a sudden is more aggressive on the scoring front. Charles, 5 points on 2 for 3. Chance to make that 7, and now 2 teams will head over to the benches off the timeout. And when we get back, 2 free throws coming for Charles Reed. Step aside for just a second here, Tornadoes and Monarchs. Coming out of the timeout here are the Tornadoes. 2 free throws coming for Charles Reed, who has 5. Charles a chance to add on to those 5 points and make it 7. Moreto in for Methodist. Brinson, Jones, Sledge, and Hicklin, the other 4. KK Horton back in for the Tornadoes as Charles knocks down free throw number 1. Carson Evans getting ready to come back in too. With a 13-point Tornado lead. NATO's starting to pull away a little bit here. As we close in on the ending stages of this game, Charles is perfect on that trip to the line, and he will step out for Carson Evans. Up the floor, Brone Brinson, now Moreto. Some misdirection as Jones hands to Brinson. Basketball has not entered the three-point line yet. As Hicklin charges in, goes over to Brinson. Brinson, a little shoulder move, now working inside. That one rejected! R.J. Johnson climbing the ladder, but it's taken right back away from Moreto. Bounce pass, Sledge, blocked again! R.J. Johnson into the open court. Sly White, yes! Slams that one home. And Sly White, is it not going to count? That ball went in and out. Well, I don't think that dunk is going to count, but the NATO bench loves it. Sly White, after a block party from R.J. Johnson. It's a technical for, the dunk will count, but it's a technical for hanging on the rim by Sly White, but well worth it with a 16-point lead as Hicklin's going to shoot the technical free throw here. Man, that was exciting. See Coach Burgess over there on the sideline. Kind of a sly little grin there, trying to get his explanation from the referees. Hey, let the guys have some fun. Zach Sledge just got an invitation to R.J. Johnson's block party. Doesn't look like he RSVP'd. Brone Brinson coming up with 6:24 to go, 74-59, a 15-point NATO lead. As Brinson goes to Hicklin. A little bit quieter in the second half for Darian Hicklin, but there he goes up and gets a three-point play. Man, Hicklin is masterful when it comes to the use of that backboard. Has the perfect touch every time, it seems, off the square. And as a result, that time he gets 2, fights through contact, and has a chance for 1 more. Hicklin with 15. And he knocks home the free throw, make it 16. 17 rather, the computer was slow. He handed me the stats. But a good scoring performance regardless by Darian Hicklin as KK Horton receives a pass from Carson Evans. Evans has it back. Hit 4 threes early on. Fairly quiet since then on the offensive end as KK has a crease but gives off to White. White's three-pointer off the mark. Rebound Hicklin. Does not have numbers. He'll slow things down for a moment. Now he charges inside on Horton. Between defenders, gives over to Jones. Contact between Posner and a Methodist player, and a finish there from Ron Jones. Looked like Hicklin and Posner collided, but nothing there in terms of what the officials saw as Carson Evans calls out a play. Now gets a screen from Sly White. Carson stepping back with Sledge on and picks up his dribble and gives off to R.J. Johnson. Swings over to White. White, now Horton. Right elbow, Jeremy Posner. Has some space, now going to back down. Puts up a quick one-hand shot, can't hit it. Rebound knocked out of the hands of Hicklin, but into the hands of his teammate Sledge. Now Hicklin has it back. Left side with Posner on him. Little stutter step now into the corner, Moreto. Up top, Brone Brinson, 5:05 to play. Brinson turning around on Evans into the corner. Hicklin, a little move, now a deep 2 from the left side is pure. Lead back down to 8 with under 5 minutes to go here in the Bosch. NATO's trying to hang on and reach 500 as R.J. Johnson fires one to White, who nearly misses KK Horton, but KK able to haul it in front of the Tornado bench. Evans once again on the left side. Johnson, quick pass to Horton. Horton turning around, under the baseline, under the basket. Posner out for three, yes! Jeremy Posner bottoms. Look at him, talking to Sledge. Holding out that wrist after firing that one. It gives the NATOs a bit more breathing room. 11 points with 4:31 to go. We'll step aside for this timeout, and we'll be back in just a moment for the final stretches of this one here in the Bosch. 77-66 Tornado lead. Back out of the break after the Jeremy Posner three-pointer. Jeremy has 6. That was KK Horton's third assist. 11-point lead for the NATOs, 4:25 to go, so not quite out of the woods. Things looking good if they can continue the way they have played these first 36 minutes as Hicklin fires in a pass to rejected, but a foul. Pass went into Sledge. He tried to go up quickly. Looked like a block from behind by KK Horton, but instead a foul. KK's second foul. 8th for the NATOs. Missed Methodist getting into the bonus, but they are now. As Sledge bricks free throw number 1, I think died on the back of the rim. Second free throw here for Sledge. That one a lot better. Straight through the nylon. And it's a 10-point lead for the NATOs, 4:13 to play. Evans skips it over to KK Horton. KK matched up with Hicklin. He's doubled. The ball's ripped away. Jones has it on a steal. Jones goes up and cannot get the finish, but a foul. Another foul on Horton. That'll be his third. Second possession in a row where he's tacked with one. And now Tornadoes in danger of putting Methodist into the double bonus as they sit at 9 fouls. Methodist has fouled Brevard 7 times, so the NATOs are in the bonus as well. Both teams guaranteed at least a free throw the rest of the way on any whistles. First free throw good there for Ron Jones. Jones has 16. Second leading scorer for Methodist. Evans and Hicklin tied for the game's leading scorer, both with 20 apiece. That one rattles out. Lead will stay at 9 as Cards hands to Evans, who's immediately pressured. And Horton, they've broken the trap. Charlie Hester right side. Gets over to Carnes. Pass to a cutting Evans. He muscles his way through. Can't finish. Gets his own rebound, though. Quincy Carter from deep. Yes! Quincy Carter from beyond the arc. We've seen it so many times, and there it is. Once again, a 12-point Tornado lead with 3:36 to go. Hicklin fires a pass into Sledge and a foul. Somebody might have been getting held there. And the official barked something to the scorer's table. That one is against Carson Evans. And now a timeout. NATO's hitting some timely threes here down the stretch. Jeremy Posner first, and then Quincy Carter just a moment ago. Media timeout. 3:32 to go in this one. NATO's holding a 12-point lead. Back in just a moment for the finishing touches from the Bosch. Methodist back out onto the floor after the timeout. NATO's still in their huddle. Coach Lee Burgess will see if he keeps the lineup the same down the stretch here or if any new faces come in. Only two NATOs have come into this game without scoring, and it's KK Horton and LB Boyette. KK has played 22 minutes but has only put up one shot, 3 assists, 3 boards for him, a couple of steals. LB only 4 minutes, went 0 for 3 from the field in his time. We'll see if we get to see LB again in this one. Sledge, this time again, hits too strong off the back iron. $80-68, time running out for Methodist to make a move here, and missing free throws is not going to help. Sledge is good on the second, so second time that we've seen Zach Sledge go to the line and split a pair. As KK Horton has an open Charlie Hester, the NATOs continue to break the trap. As Horton, with Moreto on him. Methodist trying to double the man with the ball every time as Carnes gets away from his defender. Brinson goes back over to Quincy Carter left side. Quincy swings over to Charlie Hester. Up top again, Quincy, 8 on the shot clock. Carter goes in, can't get the finish, but a foul. Quincy with 7 points. A chance to make it 9 here at the line. Had 22 yesterday. The unquestioned heart and soul of this Tornado team, the graduate, number 4. 3:07 to go. Carter hits the first. Some enthusiastic NATO fans here. Not quite as big of an attendance on a Sunday afternoon where not everybody on campus is back. And Quincy cans the second, 9 points for him. 3:05 to go. As Brinson receives the basketball from Hicklin. Brinson going to go right to left on Carter. Going to put up with the left hand, and the finger roll is there. 11-point lead, 2:50 to go. KK Horton racing up the court. Slows down with Moreto on him and tries to nudge him off a little bit with the elbow. 2:40 to go. KK charging inside. He's got a wide open layup. Blew by Moreto. There was no help down low. And the NATOs are pulling away here late. 14-point lead, 2:29 to go. Jones inside, spinning around on Evans. Fires up a bank shot and drills it. Evans thought about the long pass, now needs to get it in. Does to Hester. Charlie Hester up the floor, and he's fouled by Hicklin. 9th foul against Methodist. And a 1-and-1 coming here for Charlie. Gives a bowling-style roll to the basketball to the official. Hester with 9 points, 4 for 6 from the field, 1 for 3 from deep. A couple of rebounds, an assist, and a couple of steals. Getting some instruction from the crowd. We have a parent here in attendance that's saying, take your time, bend your knees, which Charlie might not have there. He misses the free throw, and it's Methodist ball once again as Hicklin goes right at Charlie Hester, now dumps it out to Brinson. Brinson trying to go quickly, lays it up, and it's in. Lead back down to 9, 2 minutes to go. Evans under pressure, gets behind him to KK Horton. Horton keeps getting by Moreto. He can't keep up. He looks tired. We'll see if KK goes at him here. Carnes, bounce pass, cutting. Hester, yes! As easy as it gets. Braun Brinson falling asleep there. You can't do that. 1:38 to go. NATO's back up 11. This one should be well secured, but the NATO's going to have to still play hard for this final minute and a half. Hicklin working on the other number 11, KK Horton, now dishes over to Braun Brinson. Braun gets away with an insane carry, but misses the shot. Charlie Hester, one-on-one in the break. Moreto on him. He goes up. He's fouled. And now 2 free throws coming for Hester. 1:15 to go. Man, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that wasn't a carry, but Braun Brinson went up in the air and had the ball above his head when he came down. It seems like it fits the criteria of a carry for me, but a moot point as he missed the shot after anyway, and the NATOs still have the lead. Not a game-changing play as Charlie Hester hits free throw number 1. And the second one good as well. Hicklin inside on Carnes, fires a free throw line jumper. It's good. 1:03 to go. NATO lead at 11. Quincy bounces over to Carnes right side, now KK Horton. LB Boyette will end up being the only Tornado to not score in this ball game. Not a lot of minutes for LB, only 4 of them. As we mentioned earlier, that pass knocked out of bounds. As we mentioned earlier, LB has been nursing an elbow injury, as he was actually telling me last night after the game against Wesleyan, coming off of a broken elbow type situation. Said it still hurts, but he's been cleared to play and is out there trying to slowly but surely get back into the groove of things and be the LB we all know. Quincy gonna fire up another 3. Quincy Carter, it's bottoms. Gives another look at Brone Brinson. A little bit of chatting between the two all day. Carter drills the 3. And I'm not sure, was there an offensive foul called? It's looking like they're not going to call, they're not adding it to the scoreboard yet. Points have still not been added for the Tornadoes, and there it is. The 3 will count. I was trying to say there's no whistle blown, but all of a sudden discussions between Burgess and the official. NATOs with a 14-point lead. They're going to get out of here with a victory, outscoring what they did yesterday by a point. Actually, as Hicklin going coast to coast here, puts one up off the glass and gets fouled with just over 34 seconds to go. Carter having a talk with the official. And now Carter, I think, might be having a little back and forth with Hicklin. And Quincy has that competitive fire. He's not afraid to speak his mind on the court, if you will. We've seen it a few times, as we mentioned, with Brone Brinson. Quincy seemingly going to get the last laugh here. Hicklin might have got hit in the face. I think he's getting dabbed up with a Kleenex or something over by the trainer, and now I believe he's good to shoot these free throws. Hicklin, game's leading scorer with 22, and a chance to add on to that here at the line. First free throw for Hicklin is money. Doesn't miss a whole lot. Darian Hicklin, one of the better free throw shooters in the conference. But ultimately, as Hicklin knocks down the second, the Tornadoes were able to take care of Methodist league worst defense. Methodist on average gives up 78 a game. Today they gave up 91 to the Tornadoes, and that'll get it done most nights. Methodist last in margin as well at -12. This one will end as a -13 unless the Natives decide to put up another shot, which they will have to. See if they make it or not. 4 seconds between the shot and game clock, and looks like Natives will actually just take the violation. Coach Burgess saying, don't even fire this one up, Carson. Don't tank our stats in case you miss. Carson Evans, the Tornado leading scorer with 20. We will have him on in the post game an interview. 3.5 to go in this one, so a formality here as Brinson is going to fire from the logo. Nearly hits it. Does not, though. Grazes the net, and that's going to be it. A 91-79 Tornado victory. 3 victories in a row for the NATOs, so a pretty streaky season so far. NATOs went from a 5-game winning streak to a 5-game losing streak to now a 3-game winning streak, and hopefully they can expand on that and continue to build on this streak against USA South opponents. 91-79, the victory, the score for the Tornadoes here in the Bosch. Back-to-back days with a victory in the Bosch for the Tornado men's basketball team as they reach 500, 8-8. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be back here in just a moment. Post-game thoughts and stats, and then we will have Carson Evans on for a post-game interview. Back here in just a moment. Don't go away. Post-game coverage of the NATO's second consecutive home victory. Back here after the Tornado victory, Carson Evans, the star of the show today. Yesterday was the Quincy Carter game. Today was the Carson Evans game, especially the Carson Evans first couple of minutes. Carson, you came out firing. I mean, right off the bat, 4 made threes in the first 4 minutes of the ball game. What was going through your mind? Obviously, your thought process was to attack, but can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, early in the game, I feel like I was just open for my opportunities, and I just wanted to let them go. I'm confident in my jump shot, and I feel like if I get any type of space, I'm gonna let it go, and I was just hitting early.
4 for 8 from 3. Similar to Quincy yesterday, you were scoring a lot, but you were also finding your teammates. You had 4 assists, and I talked to Quincy a little bit about this yesterday after the game. But can you talk about the importance of not being that one-dimensional player and only looking to score, only looking to shoot threes, but also finding the open guys and getting your teammates good looks?
Oh yeah, it's big to count on your teammates and hold them accountable. And we have a great group of guys, and they're all scorers and they're talented. So I try to share the ball as much as I can. And past 2 games, we've had plus 20 plus assists in both games. So I just feel like if you find your teammates, your shot will come.
Absolutely. You guys have been sharing the wealth, and only one Tornado that checked in today didn't score, and he only was in for 3 minutes. And you guys shot just under 57% from the field. You were playing against a defense that ranks last in the USA South. Did you guys know coming in that you were going to have a lot of scoring opportunities and that if you just played some good defense, things were going to work out for you guys?
Yeah, credit to Methodist. They've been playing well this year. They beat William Peace a couple of days ago. But they throw different defenses at them, and, that's good for them. And they ran a 2-3. They ran a man. So we just know if we stay in our offense, our shots will come to us.
Absolutely. And, Carson, you guys obviously a little bit of an undersized team compared to some of these teams. You saw Sledge for Methodist was a bigger guy. Yesterday, Kyron Kelly. But yet, both of these last 2 games at home, you guys have won the rebounding battle. And talk about how huge that is. I know, obviously, some guys are getting even more of a chance now with that, such as R.J. Johnson. But talk about how you guys have been able to control the glass the way that you have despite not having the best size.
Yeah, even being undersized, we focus on in practice and every day, we focus on rebounding, boxing out, because we know we're undersized. We know we got to box out, create that space. So it's just a big thing that we harp on as a team. And like you said, R.J. Johnson, we've had some great contributions from a lot of guys, and R.J.'s been doing good on the glass. And as a team, we've been doing very well on the glass the last 2 games.
Speaking of R.J., his job as a rim protector today was awesome. It was the R.J. Johnson block party that Sledge got invited to down there on that side of the floor.
Yeah.
That was awesome to watch. But, Carson, as we get into conference play, obviously now you guys have 3 conference wins early on. You're on a win streak in the conference. What's next? How are you guys preparing, and what are you looking to do over these next few games? I mean, obviously you want to win, but kind of talk about the plan of attack, these next few opponents, and maybe a little bit about who they are.
Yeah, so we got Greensboro at home this coming Wednesday, and we've had success with Greensboro in the past few years. But like with Methodist, it's a whole new team. They're playing good this year, so we have to keep the pedal to the metal and keep playing like we did. So we can't take no days off over the next couple of days to prepare for them. And we just want to stack games, keep winning. The league is as open as it ever has been, like Coach has been saying. So all the teams are good, and we have a great group of guys, and we just got to keep winning.
Like you said, Carson, stacking the wins. You guys got that victory over Pfeiffer, who's a good team. You beat North Carolina Wesleyan, who had just fallen to Pfeiffer and was the preseason #1. And then today you get a 3rd straight victory against Methodist. Talk about, like you said, stacking. How far do these games go, these last couple of games go, as far as building you guys' confidence? Obviously, it's been kind of a streaky ride. 5-game winning streak, 5-game losing streak, and now a 3-game winning streak you guys look to build on. Talk about those highs and lows and how these wins boost the confidence of everybody.
Yeah, I feel like, and with every team, when you're winning, your morality, your chemistry is at an all-time high, and when you're losing, you're down, and you don't have a lot of confidence. So we just got to keep having that confidence and keep winning. I mean, we've been playing great ball. So over the next couple of games and our next opponents, just staying focused, realizing what we have to do against them, and I think we'll be fine.
100%. Well, Carson, 20 points, 50% from beyond the arc, and 4 assists as well. Leading player in this game. Congratulations on a great win, and looking forward to the rest of the season, my boy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. there you have it, folks. 91-79, the Tornadoes getting the victory over the Methodist Monarchs here at home, and now ride a 3-game winning streak. And as Carson said in the postgame, have a game coming up again here at home on Wednesday night against Greensboro. After that, they head up to Raleigh to play William Peace, a team that has historically been really good and was really good in this conference last year, but did just fall to Methodist just last week. So an interesting slate of conference games coming up for the NATOs, but for now they ride a 3-game winning streak, and the confidence continues to grow for this squad. Lee Burgess and company on the up and up. 91-79, the final here from the Bosch. Back-to-back wins for the weekend as we get this semester started back up. Basketball season's in full swing, and the NATOs are spinning. I'm Brady Penn. Until next time, saying, let's go NATOs. Brevard wins it on a Sunday afternoon.